Yesterday, Israel announced zero tariffs on any American goods.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Israel. We just give you billions and billions of dollars in foreign aid, and you still have tariffs on our goods. Wow, you're such a great ally. Oh, thank you. Everybody's patting Israel on the back today like, wow, look at how great of an ally Israel is. See, they're taking the tariffs off. Are you kidding me? My God, how cucked are you? We give what? How much foreign aid to Israel every year? And then they still tariff our goods? And then they still use us to fight their wars? And you're gonna sit here and say, ooh, thank you, Israel. Oh my gosh, ooh. God, it's embarrassing. Shameful.
I don't want to see an Israeli flag. I want to see single loyalty to the United States of America. Tell me about the Dual Loyalty Disclosure Act.
Yeah, we swear an oath to the Constitution. And the question is, if you're a citizen of two countries, which oath are you taking more seriously? Or can you take them both seriously? Look, I would prefer that people with dual citizen have to renounce their citizenship in the other country before they run. But at a minimum, we should do what the bill I introduced does, which is require candidates for federal office to disclose whether they have dual citizenship and which countries they may have citizenship in. That way, the voters can decide whether they should be able to represent the United States.
The Israelis are obsessed with the idea that we're not giving them everything, right? And we give them pretty much everything, but they want to make sure they're getting everything, literally everything. For example, when the F-35 came out, they were the first ones to say, we want the F-35. And so we said, okay, we'll give you the F-35. So we just barely degraded the avionics. Okay, and we called it the F-35I for Israel. And the reason why we did that is because we don't want anybody to have exactly the avionics that we have in case, what happens if one of these crashes in Russian territory and the Russians reverse engineer it? Now they have the F-35. They said, no, we want your F-35, the same F-35 that you have. And we're like, no, we're not giving it to you. Well, they're trying to steal the avionics for the F-35 because we wouldn't turn it over. It's very typical of what the Israelis do. And then, at the same time, they smile and they thank you. And our friendship is forever.
Is Zionism behind the transgender movement?
Yes, it gets its origin in Zionism, and it gets its origin in the Talmud, Zohar, and Kabbalah. It's a Kabbalistic doctrine of Adam Kadmon, which is eventually they have this doctrine called Tikkun Olam, repairing the world. Yes. So how do they want to repair the world? They want to bring it to the original. Who was original Adam? He was androgynous. So now they're putting specific things in food and drink, and they're basically their end game is to make humans that on Earth that will survive whatever it is they're bringing androgynous.
Why does this cap differ from all other caps? The reason is because this Coca-Cola has no corn syrup. Usually Coca-Colas have corn syrup, but this one is a special run that Coca-Cola does just for the Jewish people who celebrate Passover, and they put real sugar. So for Passover, this is kosher for Passover, and a lot of people stock up on them. I'm not mentioning anything.
Some people don't even have this, but let's look at what the cap says. Kosher.
I know, it says kosher Pesach right here.
O-U-P.
Jewish people!
whoa. למה אתה משתמש באלימות? Okay?
Jewish people, you're really breaking my heart. You guys really breaking my heart. You guys stop waiting. Oh!
Don't raise your voice. Go.
For your seat. Yeshua respected from them to give us a life in heaven. Yeshua is the way, the truth, the life. Love you so much. Yeshua loves you so much. Yeshua loves you so much. You're doing the wrong. You're going to make your own Messiah. Yeshua loves you so much.
Did you know that the father of communism, Karl Marx, was Jewish? Winston Churchill once said, "There is no need to exaggerate the part played in the creation of Bolshevism and the actual bringing about of the Russian Revolution by these international and for the most part atheistical Jews." According to the American Hebrew in 1920, the Bolshevik Revolution was largely the product of Jewish thinking, Jewish discontent, and Jewish effort to reconstruct. And it's important to note here that Jews were only about 3 to 4% of the Russian population at the time. And in fact, Russia became the first country to criminalize anti-Semitism. All this is to say is that most of us know that communism is the most brutal governing structure in the world, killing 20 million plus people in the Soviet Union, mostly being white Russian Christians, and 65 million people in China. So when the next person asks you, where does communism come from, show them this video.